Protesters demanded it, and now all four former officers are in custody as prosecutors now prepare for trial in Hennepin County. Let's show you the mugshots right now of Tou Thao, J. Alexander King, and Thomas Lane. Their attorneys have not commented on the charges, but lead prosecutor, Attorney General Keith Ellison, he spoke yesterday. He said his team will contend that Floyd was assaulted, with assault being the underlying felony in that second-degree unintentional murder charge against Chauvin. We checked in also with former U.S. Attorney Tom Heffelfinger to learn more about what we can expect in court.
You've already got two sets of medical examiners, one for the family, one for the county, and I'm going to suspect you're going to have a third set, which means you could have a battle of the experts.
He expects that the defense will question the cause of death and will point out any underlying health conditions Floyd had. But Ellison's office has clear video evidence to use at trial, and he said he could present more, including body camera footage. Guys?
All right, thanks for that, Kaya.